This is great. I escaped the gravitational pull of the city. I've been trying to get to this place specifically, which is not that far from where I live. It's about an hour away from Berlin, from the center of where I live. But I've tried to escape this for weeks, and somehow it seemed impossible. And I don't know exactly why, because it only takes 40 minutes to get here, but every time I would try to get here, it just wouldn't work. And something stood in the way, and then my mind was really pulling me into the state of doubt, I'd say. Yeah, because the mind is like, well, you need to work and you need to go to the coffee shop where you always go, and you don't need to come here. And then finally today, in this day which is really gray, but I really love the grayness of it, I said, okay, enough of this. I'm going to disregard the fact that the weather is cold and the fact that it might not be like the best way to come to this natural reserve. And then I decided to come here. And I must say that it's really nice here. And when I did arrive here, there's this other state that I'm entering. And at the moment, I'm playing with this idea of time and state and narrative and sort of collective memory and identity and how all of these things connect and how oneself is connected to all of the states that preceded the current state, etc. So I'm thinking about all of these things, and in my conditions in Berlin, these thoughts go along one trajectory, and when I'm here, outside of Berlin, in this wonderful area, my thoughts travel along a different trajectory. So then I started thinking about, I've been contemplating a lot about taking a walk, taking a long, long walk for about a week, and just going and going and going and going and see how far I would go. And somehow I always connected that to the need to have a lot of time in order to walk. And that's what I'm trying to uncover at the moment, is that I'm noticing in my mind there's like all this logical chains that get constructed. And in order for me to get to state, let's say, B, I feel like I need to go through the state C, D, E, and F. Whereas between A and B, there's just like a direct connection between those two things. And then I could just like do it tomorrow, actually. I can start next week, and then I can take a walk for 2 days and see where I get, and take a tent with me, and then just take 2 day walk and then see where I get. And then after that I can take a walk for 3 days and see where I get. And then it doesn't need to be like this grand gesture where it's like I take 3 weeks out of my life and go for a long, long walk. And yeah, and that kind of shows up in every respect of my life. It feels like in my current iteration, I construct these chains that prevent me from action, whereas the action is actually super easy. You just act, and then you subtract the chains, and then what you do is that you just do, and then see what is on the other side of the action. And I started like through cadence. I find a lot of clarity because cadence provides this board, and what this board contains is just a set of colors that are associated with states and actions. And then as you reflect on the past 7 days, you kind of have an opportunity to see whether you have occupied the state of being. And if you have, then you're moving towards the direction of becoming that which you wish to become. And then if you didn't put on the colors, and you put in the colors on this board, then you have no choice. Then not choice, but you have no chance. So then it becomes kind of like just a mental exercise of wishing as opposed to acting. So yeah, I quite like that.